Your topic, our topic, everybody's topic. Let's talk about it.
Sycamore.
Minutes past 2 on a beautiful Monday afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, welcome.
Hey, Vanessa, woo! It's Monday! Welcome, guys. Monday. Let me tell you something, girl, that was for you over the weekend. I myself wondering if the PM put a release out there to address these cold conditions. I mean, it was 23. The thermostat on the... We're in studio. Mm-hmm. The thermostat reads 22 degrees. It's quite cool in here. Mm-hmm. When I checked my phone, when I checked the temperature, Sunday morning, it was 22 degrees. It was colder than it is right now here.
In an air-conditioned room.
And I'm like, what's going on, man? And that's in Roseau. So imagine places right? Like Eggleston.
Yes, Warner, Bells, Pocasebo, so, like, Freddy.
We need the PM to address this. You know, January is our coldest month.
Yes.
So are you checking the temperature is going to drop to what? 15 degrees?
We'll have snow in January, it seems.
We'll have. I am not putting it past this weather, man.
That weather
it's lovely, though. It feels good, man. It's good.
Yeah, it does. I was going to ask you if you're complaining, you know.
No, just making an observation. Oh, okay. I would like to know what's going on and want to know if the authorities are aware that the temperature is really, really cool. Ooh. And maybe if we should get everybody get a heater in their home, a heater for you, a heater for you, a heater for you, a heater for you.
I hear you. Loud and clear.
Yeah, but in the meantime, I'm just going to check the time on my coach watch. Uh-huh. Did you see what I'm sporting, Vanessa?
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Ooh.
I got this as a gift from my father for Children's Day.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're still a children?
I am a children.
Oh boy. Folks, we have an amazing discussion, a very interesting discussion for you this afternoon. We have loads and loads to talk about. We're just going to share some love. Folks celebrating birthdays today. Want to say happy birthday to you. Much love on your special day. Big shout out to Simis Olmos celebrating today.
Hey, Papa, look, I getting maybe for my accent.
Oh, Pa.
I am sorry. I will bring it back. Okay? I am sorry. I will bring it back.
Are you sure you're sorry?
Yes, I apologize fast for things I do wrong.
All right. Well, 5 minutes past 2. What we're going to do right now, Sammy, take a pause, pay some bills, and when we come back, all you will see us on camera, so stop asking where all you. We come in just now. Wait. Just now we come in, all right? I grow my hair. I have to take time for you to see it. Anyways, we'll be back after these messages. Keep it locked. This is Your Hot Topics, your Tell It Like It Is a show.
Before I leave,
All farmers, home gardeners, florists, and plant enthusiasts, we are proud to announce that we have finally opened to the public. Bloombox, Dominica's newest home and garden center, offering agriculture tools and supplies, solar products, and the only company on island that provides the latest products in automated irrigation. Visit our store today at 66 Federation Drive, Centeroma. It's the second property on the right-hand side after the Valley Link Road. Opening hours 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays. Call us at 235-3480. Bloombox, bridging the gap between commerce and sustainability. Let's bloom together. Boy, it's Christmas again. You guys, Belly, you're always in front. Independence yet to pass, but you have Christmas in November. What happened to you? All your furniture and appliances by the road. It's not me alone that put a joke, man. As the fans have Christmas in November too. You don't see now brand new everything. They have up to 75% off on men and women's clothes and shoes, and up to 15% off on large furniture and appliances. You better hurry up and go on the second floor in the Super Center in Roseau for yours. The promotion is from November 1st to 30th. Boy, look good time. I can upgrade and still have money to buy toys for them children. Boy, when I hear that, I call them on 255-2719, or you can call 255-2748 just to make sure. If you don't believe me, call them and see for yourself. My stove have oven now, so I baking my turkey this year, and I'm not buying ice again. I drinking my sorrel with ice from my fridge though.
But when I see the lovely land, boy, it's Christmas again. Old man Jack stretching their hand, boy, it's Christmas again.
Watch and listen to win big this Christmas with a Digicel Prime Bundle. Stream all the music you want in D-Music. Binge Christmas movies in Playgo. Watch NBA games in Sportsmax. All while on the go without using your any use data. That's more entertainment, more data, plus more chances to win from thousands of prizes. Enter to win the grand prize of easy $15,000. A weekend for two at Cabrit Resort and Spa Kempinski, or a $1,500 supermarket shopping spree. We are all winners with guaranteed win days. Buy a 7-day Prime Jumbo bundle for $35 today. Digicel, better together this Christmas.
What you eating there?
Ham and cheese now.
What? You go for lunch by Sammy's without me? Oh, you can't do me that.
Relax now, I set you up. I got your meatball sub, a roti, pies, tarts, cakes, chicken salad, codfish sub, chicken and chips, and a smoothie.
Woo! Goody! Brian, Tom, Dave, come! Lunch from Sammy's on our co-worker.
Co-worker? Sammy's Boutique and Cafe, located at 39 King George V Street. Call us at 613-5908.
Welcome back. 9 minutes moving down past to 2 o'clock. All right, so we are ready. We're ready to get into our topic. Right, Sammy? You ready, Sammy?
I am
ready. We ready. Good. So our topic this afternoon, those of you on Facebook Live would have seen that we're talking Guadaloupe. Mm-hmm. Right. So when Guadaloupe strikes.
Africa we ve.
And some people know, some people don't know, some people are still trying to figure out what was the situation. But we have a guest on with us this afternoon who is Dominican by birth but lives in Guadaloupe as well. Let's welcome our guest, Sammy. Good afternoon, Ezra. How are you?
Good afternoon, Vanessa and Sammy.
Good
I'm
afternoon.
doing well.
All
According to the old people, I well thanks.
You well, thanks.
Okay,
we like
right.
that. So there's been a situation brewing in Guadaloupe, or there's a situation ongoing in Guadaloupe. People, there's fires in the streets, buildings set to fire, and people are trying to understand really what's going on. What's the cause of this?
The cause of it is a build-up of frustration, I would say. When you analyze the situation, you see that people have been crying, people have been talking for a long time, and then the talk fall on deaf ears.
Okay.
And they've decided now to take matters into their own hands. They're demonstrating. The major cause of the demonstration is the vaccine, the COVID vaccine. The French government has decided to put in place a law saying that the vaccine is compulsory and they say something they call a sanitary pass. If you want to go to the movies, if you want to go to restaurants, if you want to probably just not fly on a plane,
Wow.
you have to have that the probably 3 doses of the vaccine. And it's mandatory for civil servants, for firefighters, frontline workers, except the police. The police, they're afraid. I guess they're probably afraid. It's not mandatory for the police.
So
So
okay.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Is that
So
is that for all of the French territories?
yeah, that's including France, Guadeloupe,
Okay.
Martinique, and all of the French territories, including Saint Martin, the Indian
La
Ocean.
Réunion, okay, all right.
Yeah, the Reunion. So, and people have actually been sent home in Guadeloupe. They are not being paid. The firefighters and frontline workers, nurses have been sent home. People working in the hospitals have been sent home. So the union was one in the government says, if you go ahead and implement the law, we are going to strike. We're going to call for general strike. And so they've been in the streets, but the government didn't listen. What the government chose to do was to lock down the country. They locked it down, open it a month after, lock it down, because the momentum had been building since in July. So the government decided, okay, we're going to play for time.
Okay, the lockdown isn't associated with the Delta variant being present in Martinique and Guadeloupe and the increase in cases?
Yeah, but the thing is that people are not stupid. Everybody know why the cases, there were a lot of cases in Guadeloupe and Martinique, because they opened the airport to people coming from Europe. Over the summer holidays, anybody could come in from Europe, and there were like 6 flights a day coming from Paris. I myself traveled to Paris during the summer and came back to Guadeloupe.
Okay.
So yeah, people came down, and when you come to Guadeloupe, there's no quarantine, and they came with no proof of vaccination. So there was a spike. There was a third wave in Guadeloupe, and everybody knew, but they were telling the government, please don't do it. But I guess the government wanted to ease some frustration of people, so they send them down to Guadeloupe on vacation. And also, they wanted people in Guadeloupe are not taking the vaccine. Less than half of the population is vaccinated.
Okay.
So the government is trying to force it down their throats, and people have decided, you know what, enough is enough. So there was a demonstration, like 3 days of marching and 3 days of. And when you hear strike, as Vanessa said in Guadeloupe, it's strike.
Wow. So
they blocked the roads for 3 days, and then the third night was looting. I mean, burning and looting that I've never seen. Probably, or you only see these things like in the movies, or like, yeah. And sleep. That was like a real uprising, a real revolution. So they burned down buildings, they burned down abandoned buildings in wooden buildings in Pointe-à-Pitre and in different parts of Guadeloupe, and a lot of roadblocks with tires burning, vehicles burning, good, old, new, ugly, pretty vehicles burning, pallets burning, but it's well organized. It's simultaneous. They organize it in different parts of Guadeloupe. And they fell trees, coconut trees across the road. They fell big other trees across the road. And then the looting started. They looted gold stores. Almost every gold store in Port-à-Pitre was looted. They looted supermarkets. They looted sports shop. They just looted.
And cash machines. The cash machines also. We saw videos.
They looted.
I saw a video of an excavator ripping a cash machine.
Yeah, ATM, exactly. Yes. So about 2 or 3 ATMs were looted.
Wow.
And then they prefer the equivalent to the governor. He installed a curfew from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. But that didn't help the situation. So there were 3 nights, consecutive nights of looting, just looting and looting and looting. Every night, looting and fire. And then police came, but that didn't deter them. They continued looting. And they were prepared for the tear gas, because police used tear gas to disperse the crowds that were gathered on pickets. But that didn't deter them. They continued looting, and they were well prepared. They had their mask on, they had their milk and their water, so the tear gas was almost non-effective.
Wow.
It was a stoning.
I'm hearing as well that an armory was looted, was broken into.
Yeah, but the owner of the armory said that they were the rifles that were taken were like basic stuff.
Okay.
It's not like they knew something would have happened, so they kind of protected themselves. The machine guns, and so they took that away from the army. So it's like basic stuff. But if you see stuff on Facebook and things with guys showing ammunition, it's not really from the army. It's things they already had.
They already
before.
had their
It's
stuff.
not things that they stole. Yeah.
So but this is beyond a protest right now. This is mayhem and destruction. What does that mean for law-abiding citizens in Guadeloupe?
The problem is when politicians fail to listen to the cry of the poor people, that's what happened eventually. They created a lot of ghettos. They built a lot of projects in Guadeloupe. And the unemployment, the rate of unemployment is very high. You see guys sitting on the block, sitting just waiting and selling weed. But weed is not selling anymore because there's a local production. They also getting weed from Dominica. So weed is like everybody trying to sell weed. If you stop on a block, about 5, 10, sometimes even 7 guys come up to you trying to bid to give you the best price for weed. So it's frustration. They're not working. They do not have any other source of income. So it's building up and no recreation, no recreational facilities.
From what I
So it's
understand,
just,
Guadeloupe is a welfare state. You know, they have.
well, it is a welfare state, but how the cost of living has gone up
They
since
get houses for free. They get education.
No,
for free.
it's not
They
free.
get-
You gotta pay something. You have to pay something from it. But again, people don't want to be in a welfare state. People want to work for a salary. You can take your wife or your girlfriend out. You can buy stuff for your kids. On a welfare state, there's nothing much you can do. You live from day to day, and there's nothing going from hand to mouth. So it's not a question of people are happy to be in that situation. And it's when you're on welfare, there's no dignity. You feel that all your dignity is lost.
But
That
from-
you're a beggar.
I mean, I'm an outsider looking in there, and I have friends and family in Guadeloupe, and I know people are making children so that they can benefit from the welfare system. You know, so,
Okay, so
there are people who
yeah.
deliberately don't want to work, isn't going to work. The French government have to take care of them, take care of their 4, 5, 6 children. They decide if they don't even want a partner in the house, because if they do have a partner in the house, the French government will cut off some of the benefits. So I see an organized system there where people milk the French system to not work. I don't see it.
But-
Because you have Dominicans coming and going to Guadeloupe and getting work. You have Haitians, you know how they bombard Guadeloupe. That is one of their idle spots. And they go to Guadeloupe and they work on the markets, they work in houses, they work, they put themselves out to work. So I don't understand why you're saying that French people themselves cannot get employment when foreigners live in their country and going to Guadeloupe. Even the people from Dominican Republic go to Guadeloupe and they get employment.
Okay, but you see, it's a recurring problem. The same thing can be said about Dominica. Why Haitians come into Dominica and get work, and Dominicans are sitting on the block and liming?
Because they don't want to
So,
work.
but it's
You
again,
cannot,
it's
at
not.
the end of the day, you cannot force people to work, you know. Same way we don't want to force anybody to take the vaccine, and people have a right not to if they don't want to. You can't force people to work. So if a person don't want to work and lazy, like somebody on the live is saying that they're basically lazy. They don't want to work. And I've heard that over and over, they don't want to work.
But that's an euphemism. That's a small part of the population. I trust me. It's 90. It doesn't say that 90% or 50% of the population of Guadeloupe is on welfare. That's not true. And I must tell you the truth. That a lot of people on welfare are from Dominica. There are a lot of Dominican women in Guadeloupe on welfare.
Yeah, they make children to do those too. Yep. I know that. They make children to benefit from the system. But while they are on welfare, I know some of them who are using the welfare money they get from Guadeloupe to build their house in Dominica.
Right, and their children go astray. Because I teach in Guadeloupe, and I can tell you, I come across it every day. Some of the kids, they don't even speak any English. The French students are much brighter than them, and they're astray. They do not have fathers. So it's a real deal. They do not have a father figure at home, and they grow up, and then from school, what they do, they go on the ghetto.
Go back into the system. Yeah, go back into the same system.
Okay, so here's this now, Ezra. In terms of the businesses who have suffered, are they what now? I'm trying to get insurance settlements or.
Well, the Prime Minister of France called a meeting with some of the elected officials, and they say they're going to try. But one of the business places owners said that the insurance said, okay, we will pay, but then they're not going to pay tomorrow. And that means a lot of people have lost their jobs.
Right.
So there are about at least 125 businesses that are off for now.
Wow.
That includes the Syrio Lebanese community, which a lot of us know in Pointe-à-Pitre.
Yes.
This includes all other local businesses. This includes the Haitians, because a lot of Haitians had supermarkets and shops in Guadeloupe. They too suffered a great loss.
Okay.
So that compounding unemployment situation even more. You don't get
Well,
any work,
if you
but
are-
you're burning
yeah, but
the,
if they're
the
unemployed,
companies that are
they-
there that providing employment for some.
Well, no, if you're unemployed in that way, then you get unpaid. They will be paid by the government. So it's a French
Okay.
system again. They
So-
got unemployment benefits, which is 100% of their salary for at least a year. And no, they wouldn't be out of work for a year because the businesses are
We'll
promised
come back.
to
Okay.
come back.
So let me
Yeah.
ask you again. I saw a video yesterday, Saturday, where some people were saying that they were going to break their people out of prison. Well, some of the guys, the thugs, were saying that they were going to break their people out of prison. You know, if that anything happened in that regard?
Well, no. I don't think they can do that. But what can happen in the prisons is riots, because the case of they started calling the cases. They were about like 40 something or 50 something arrests, and some of them fined and confined. They were brought to the courts this morning, but we do not know the verdicts are.
Okay.
But what can happen in a prison, a already overpopulated prison, is riots, because these guys are coming in new and they're hot and they're fresh. Their blood is hot, so we can expect riots in the prisons. And there was a COVID outbreak, which is still rampant in the prisons, so that can compound a lot of stuff.
Okay. All right. But how soon do you see an impasse? You see them coming to an impasse?
I'm not sure, because the problem is the union in Guadeloupe is very strong, and the French system allows union. It's not like the American system or even the Caribbean, where the union doesn't have any strength, or some of the unions are set out.
Okay.
In the French system, the union is very strong and they're there to defend the interests of their members. So all these people are saying, and what happened again today, Martinique has also joined.
Yes.
Martinique, there's a general strike in Martinique started this morning, and a lot of roadblocks in Martinique. So the French have a lot on their hands. And it's a shame when politicians think that they can fool people all the time, patch up and continue to patch up. And this is what happened. I knew it was going to happen because I'm on the ground. I sensed that people were angry, people were unsatisfied, dissatisfied, and they were there's something going to happen.
I'm getting a comment there that says that there was an organized strike in Guadeloupe. Before.
Well, the strike is still going on. Yes. It started with an organized strike.
Yes, it started with an organized strike. And the union leader was the one who called the boys and asked them to join the boys and asked them to join the strike.
No. That's rumor.
Wow.
There's nothing to prove that the union leader did say. But everybody know, in every strike in Guadeloupe, I have been in Guadeloupe for a long time. And not even only Guadeloupe. Look at what happened when George Floyd was killed in America. The strike the march was properly organized, and then you had the groups coming in and looting the stores in America. So it's the same thing all over the world. Whenever there's a strike, well, they say the bad ones, but I think they're not really the bad ones, because there's in the ghetto, they're suffering. They're hungry. They just waiting to exhale, and the only way they can exhale the pressure is by going and loot.
Okay.
And loot for things that they think they should have, loot for things that they envy. And that's what happened in Guadeloupe. It can happen anywhere else in the world. It has happened, and it is happening.
That is not
okay.
I mean, that kind of a behavior, this stealing from people, destroying property, taking from what people have because you feel to yourself that you should have that can never be right.
Well, that is all. That is how they expressing their frustration. Somebody is saying. Somebody is saying here on the. Go ahead, Ezra.
Yeah, it's a social issue. I mean, this is the consequences of poverty, extreme poverty. And there was a report in Guadeloupe from the French government that says poverty has increased in Guadeloupe. People living below the level of the poverty line. A lot of people are living below the poverty line. You have kids going to school. You have a family. You cannot feed them. There's nothing you can do. You cannot go on vacation. And then when you look around, you see all these white people working. And every big institution in Guadeloupe is run by a white person. So that again too is very frustrating. Kids that live in school, in the university that I teach, and what they do, they go to France to get jobs, because before they leave school in Guadeloupe, there's a job waiting for them in France. But they do not want to go to France. They want to work in Guadeloupe. They cannot work in Guadeloupe because there's no job. There are no jobs, no more jobs.
Okay.
I want to read this comment. This is from Brad George's Deliverer. He says, as a French citizen who lived and worked in France for many years, there is endless opportunities in France and Europe worldwide. Education, health, housing, free for all if you don't have the means. They need to take some responsibility. The government can't manage everything in the life of an individual. And I tend to agree with him. I mean, we all know what's available to the average person in Guadeloupe. And I don't think people are taking advantage of the opportunities that are there for them.
But you see, another thing, there's something called a social contract that we sign with our people that we elect. The role, they have a role to protect us. They have a role to provide for us. Free education, basic needs, that we put them in power for that. And if these needs are not being met, frustration in the ghetto is worse. I mean, when you create clusters like the projects in America, they are saying some of them no, because that's where you get all the crime and the violence. People in the ghetto, I was watching a documentary, and they said the only thing for them is make kids, have sex, and get high. This is their pleasure. This is what they have in the ghetto. So you have to understand. You tell them say no to drugs, but say yes to what? What are you telling them say yes to? That is what, there's a social issue that needs to be addressed. And unless the government comes and address that social issue, the ghetto will remain and the violence will come from the ghetto, because that's the only way they can feel a sense of belonging. They feel that that's the only way they feel that their voice is being heard.
Okay, all right.
Somebody on the live is also saying that the only reason why the French territories are acting like this, it is because they know that France will build back. France have a vested interest in those territories, so they know that they will build it back because they need.
Exactly. So if you know that, then you're going to fight for what you want.
But in other countries, those things will not happen because you will be building your own, and who's going to give it back to you? Who's going to build back for you? Who is going to take care of you when you put yourself out of school, out of work, out of cash?
Well, I'm not sure about that, because remember slavery. The black people was enslaved for 400 years and they revolted. And history can repeat itself. And we have seen the Haitian Revolution, where the word for the Haitians were coup d'etat, Wilekai. During the Haitian Revolution, they burned down the plantation, they burned down the houses, and they cut the heads of the massa.
Yeah.
So we see, and Guadaloupe and Martinique, they're black like us. And people can only take that much. But after a while, they just agree, you know what, enough is enough. When you have people under bondage, in poverty. And the other thing is that the politicians, they live in luxury.
Okay.
You're begging for bread and they're living in luxury. So that's what is happening in Guadeloupe. It can happen in other places in the Caribbean.
Okay, we have a call on the line, Ezra. Let's go to the telephone. Hot Topics, your live. Talk to us.
Yes, hot topic, fireman touching base, because I must put my 2 cents because it's a great program and an interesting program.
Thank you, fireman.
So eventually, see what is happening there in that place they call in Guadeloupe and in the Caribbean. First thing I have to say is black people have a problem long time, and we love to follow things. Let me tell you something. I just live in French side, I live in Dutch side, all about them places they kind of policy. In River Nicas, they call Dominica, with an independent state. Now, Guadeloupe is a base, or we call them, a part of the French
dependent of France,
right? Which is French and Martin
colony, yes.
Now they're getting things from the head. They don't create for themselves, right? So as the brother was just saying there, well and truly, when you're giving everybody, Muslim people, you give them the thing they call in starch, or you're giving them things, you're making them get involved in work, and you're not employing them. That is a problem already. Now the problem I have, my girl, nobody can fool me. Nothing you have already. What you have already, on, make good use of it and take care of it. You cannot destroy what you have and playing foolishness or playing ignorance and playing bad, because it's thing happening in people's place. You come and do the same thing in your place. Or we can pass, even in France side there in St. Martin, right? Or we can pass how long? School mash up, how much thing destroy? How much they can fix on the front? It have how much problem they cannot fix it. So because of that now, you find you tell me now, somebody are not involved in all the business, so you're going to burn down their place. Destroy them, people have to do their work, up and down, the little movement. Block the little movement and telling me that is justice, that is pure garbage. That is ignorance.
Very much.
That is malice, and a lot of time people, they still, they don't me to me out in them like people are thieving. That is wrong. Wrong can't be right. You know what I'm saying? Get it straight. You ready, fireman?
Yeah, we're there with you.
You know what I'm saying? Let's get it straight, my girl. My girl, I even hear them man talking about how We need to do that in River Nika. That is pure ignorance and arrogance. This same thing that happened in Tamati once upon a time. You blocking your own people and you charging them money. People have to go to school.
Yeah.
They can't get a little work. They have to do something and they cannot move. But then people like them have created the problem now. They're moving as they want, doing what they want. When you say man playing the politics for them, so they come here. In the ghetto in Guadaloupe, all them want to do right now is sell drugs and promote malice. And the people going to do the same thing up there too. But then we will get real. Right now in a new era, they tell you when you see you have a good education, you have a space for people, young people, listen to Fireman. I do have education, but I have education.
You have education, yeah.
Take all your education serious.
All right.
Take all your life serious. Right now in a new era, nobody can give you nothing else. You have to create for yourself.
True.
You have a life and a mind of your own. Take your life serious. Forget following people and doing ignorance and fantasy and illusion. And to be honest, take too much time because I live in my heart. I have family and friends in Guadaloupe. I have my daughter in Guadaloupe. My grandson's birthday was yesterday. And what happened in Guadaloupe is a bunch of thieves and ignorance and malice. Nothing concerning, nothing positive. All of them wrong, and I put all of them in jail by the right. Up and running, fireman.
Thank you, fireman. Okay, but then again, it's people's rights.
But you cannot violate a person. You cannot violate a person to validate yourself. I understand you have a right to protest. Protest. Don't go to work. Don't move around. Encourage your people to not participate. Lock down the country that way. But don't violate me to get what you want. Because that is not democracy in itself. You cannot violate me, innocent bystander, to prove your democracy. It's working against itself.
So, can I ask a simple question?
Ask, sir. We are there.
Yeah, we know that there are a lot of Dominicans living in the ghetto in Guadaloupe. So, do you guys think that there were no Dominicans participating in the looting and the stealing and the burning?
No, I believe there were a lot of Dominicans participating. And a lot of it, and even if they were not affected by the system, they joined it for them to gain. And that's my point.
All right, let's go to the telephone. Hot Topics, you're live. Talk to us.
Hello, good afternoon, Vanessa, and good afternoon, my brethren in Guadaloupe.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
To you.
Hey, Six.
My brethren, I sympathize with all about two wrongs can't make a right. I am telling all that straight. If it's independence, all you want all you on the front, come together nicely and tell the French people we want independence, and all you can fight for that independence to level of France. So if it's not all you fighting for independence level of France, get together, Martinique and Guadeloupe, and fight for it.
They don't want the independence because they
No,
love to work.
well, the biggest joke is that now, when you get in welfare, and some people like the welfare, but I go in a bank in Martinique, and when I go there, the amount of people I see, but where is all them people? What them people doing there? That's how the bank to give people money free. That's for children, made for children, for housing, for this. I say, what? How come them people want to depend on France? Because what? If you depend on France, my brother, for your well-being, after a while, you expect to get frustrated. They're not running things. France are running. White people are running things in Guadeloupe and Martinique and all about, then where them French people are there, So that also the black people become second class to them people. So what all you have to fight for is all you independence. Set it up properly and fight for it. Don't come and bring all the old people place and all on next nowhere.
A question, Six.
Isn't Dominica a welfare state where we have a lot of handouts?
Dominica not a welfare state.
Can you prove that?
Dominica not a welfare state, my brother.
I said,
Dominica not a welfare state.
Mr. Six, hang on a while. A while ago, I made a comment. When you told me I couldn't prove it. So I relaxed. But can you prove that Dominica is a
question.
Can you prove Dominica is a welfare state taking handouts for you to make that comment?
Yeah, but
Dominica is not a welfare state. That's let me tell you something. You see Dominica?
People affected by a storm got free houses and something is wrong with that. You classify that as a welfare state?
You see Dominica? Let me tell you something.
Yes, sir.
Dominica is a place the government bigging up people, lifting up people. That's what they're doing. They lift you up, but we have no welfare state. All you on the front getting all your money and all your
it was just a simple question. Thank you, Six.
Every month like clockwork. Every month 6. Every month like clockwork.
All right, it was just a simple question. I see everybody flying off the handle.
Let me ask you a question. Nobody flying off a handle. Let me ask you a question, Ezra, about this. Because I understand that supermarkets are running out of food. What is the situation for people in Guadeloupe? Anthony,
Well, you see
make a package.
Well, you see the same thing. The same thing the brother was saying. I was going to tell him that the minister told them the same thing this morning. If you want more autonomy, well, have a referendum. We're ready to give you a referendum. Call for your independence and then run your stuff. But don't put the blame on the French government because we gave you money. You squandered the money. Well, he didn't say they squandered it, but he asking them, but what did you do with the money that we give you to make the lives of people? And what we do know, Guadeloupe is very dependent on France. If the boat doesn't come for a week, people will almost starve to death. The supermarkets will be empty. And of course, Guadeloupe is running out of food because since the COVID, the boats, I mean, they get vegetables from France. Can you imagine that? They get lettuce, they get carrots, they get everything from France.
And they live on a volcanic island. I'm just seeing a comment there from a person who is saying that he has a construction business in Guadeloupe and he can't get workers. People refuse to work.
Well, again, that is what you call a welfare state because some of them do not want to do hard work no more.
But,
and the problem is,
at the beginning of the program, you said that there's no work for people.
Yeah, but remember, there are different categories of people. There are people educated, there's skilled and unskilled labor. Okay, skilled labor is like people with degrees, with college degrees. There's unskilled labor where people are like carpenters and so, but the unskilled labor you cannot find. A lot of countries around the world, what they have done is import labor. Dominica also imported labor, is importing labor from Haiti. But the Haitians that are coming to Guadeloupe, they do not do the unskilled work. They do agriculture and barber. They do not do carpentry. They do not do masonry. They do not do fishing. They are not fishermen.
But it's not skilled work. This is skilled work. Carpentry is a highly skilled profession. We have Haitians here doing that.
But in Guadeloupe, I'm talking about Guadeloupe. I'm not talking about Dominic. In Guadeloupe, they do not do that. So if he say he's looking for people to work, I agree with him. One of the things, again, the French government has closed down the training school where they would train in mechanics, training masons, training carpenters. So that has compounded the problem. Unskilled labor,
closed down and sent to France, and they are sent to France to train.
Yeah, you're sent to France to train. When you go to France, you don't want to come back to Guadeloupe. A lot of the young guys, they prefer stay in France. They don't want to come back. So he's right. He cannot find skilled labor in Guadeloupe. Because the imported labor, Haitians that come to Guadeloupe, they do not do that. Haitians go into business. They're making fast money. They open a barber shop. They open a store. They open a supermarket. They have a restaurant, and they're on their hustle. Okay. They do not go and work for
Let's go back to the
French government.
Go ahead. Yeah, saying let's go back to the telephone. We have a caller on the line. Hot Topics, you're live. Good afternoon, Hot Topics, you're live. Talk to us.
Yeah. You know what I really don't like to hear? That is people's right. Yes, you're right. You have a right to demonstrate if something not right. But you have no right to destroy people's property. You have no right to block government roads. That's not a right.
True.
That's a crime. You understand me? And when I hear people say, well, it's a right. Yeah, it's a right to demonstrate, not your right to destroy.
True.
That's not a right. And you want freedom. You want independence. Or you still want the Frenchman. You have to choose. You have to choose. Because you're not going to have a child living in your house. You'd have to feed that child, school that child, clothe that child, and the child come and beat you in your house. That is Guadeloupe and Martinique to France. Guadeloupe and Martinique is France, is the government of France. They feed you, clothe you, shelter you, so you can come do what you want. Let's be realistic about this thing. And if you notice, it's always the blacks, the next,
who get the shot
that always have a problem. And it's always them. And it's them you find in that on welfare. So it's not government have them on welfare. They want to be on welfare. Because if you know you can't afford children, because you know you'll get paid, you're going to make children.
True.
So you can depend on the state.
Yeah.
And then you go blame the state. Blame yourself for your situation. And black people, that's how we are. And I guarantee you, if Martinique and Guadeloupe ever get independent, it's worse.
Yeah.
That'll be worse. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
And I want to add something to the caller's comment, and I know that's happening for a fact. There's a cut-off limit. You have to be making a certain amount of money, or not making a certain amount of money for you to qualify for the welfare program. If you're working in a certain job and you're making X amount of money, you do not qualify. You're in a different income bracket. People actually quit their work or refuse a promotion or refuse to get higher so that they can benefit under the welfare system. Am I right, Ezra, or wrong?
Yes, and again, I agree with the caller. We have to condemn all forms of violence. A man been working hard for all his years, a business passed from generation to generation, and you just willfully, jokingly loot the person's business. Can you imagine that?
True.
I mean,
this is
everybody came out, and well, most people came out and condemned the violence. I mean, you have to protest for your right. It's a right, a democratic right. But to burn people, and there were people, a woman that said she had to jump from a window because her house they set the house on fire, probably willfully or probably by mistake. But the house was burning, a wooden house, and she had to jump from a window. So we all condemn the violence, and again, it's a vicious cycle. The same thing happened in America with black people. They put them on they went on welfare. In America, it's the same thing. But what are the things they want to make us believe in America too is that there are more black people on welfare than whites. No, it's not. It's not so. But in Guadaloupe, in Guadaloupe is the same thing. And then again, fellas, we are Dominicans. Right. I am not criticizing Dominicans, but I have worked with the schools. I've seen the kids. And you said, Sammy said she have family in Guadaloupe, relatives, women who make children for that. So you don't blame the French system. You blame these people who make children in the ghetto with no future. So it's a problem. It's a vicious cycle that we have to try to get ourselves out of.
Okay, we have another comment from Brad, and that's a guy who's a French citizen he's a French citizen, and he's saying the key problem is that people who don't work want the same standard of living as the people who do work. They feel entitled to what people who work have. And you said that a little earlier. You said that people are looting places because they feel that they should have certain things that they don't have. But if you don't work and you're not contributing to society and you're sucking off welfare, how are you entitled to have a certain standard of living? You should not.
Well, that's the same thing you're saying. Why should I be working hard? You sit down on the block because you want to sit down on the block. Some of them probably don't want to because probably they never had any example. But some of them are deliberately doing it, and then they wait for the least opportunity to go steal. I mean, stealing has been around in Guadeloupe, and they might. And please, fellas, we are Dominicans, and we know the reputation of Dominicans in Guadeloupe.
I'm getting a comment on the reputation of our people in Guadeloupe isn't good at all. It is what it is, right, Vanessa? It's the truth. It's not good at all. I'm getting a comment on my WhatsApp, and the person is saying to ask you about the leader of the organizers of the strike. We don't want to call his name because we don't have a lot of money. The organizers of the strike encouraging people to attack the police. Encouraging the boys to attack the police. And telling the police that if they touch one, that's the end of Guadeloupe. They will burn everything.
Well, it's a movement and it's not a direct call, but it's like coded words. They give the coded words. And everybody know what the codes mean. But again, as I said, they displaced one ghetto and they displaced one ghetto from Pointe-à-Pitre and they set the ghettos in different parts of Guadeloupe. So everybody has that ghetto mentality that once something happens, boom, we're going to act. But we don't have to come to the city to act. We can act in our own town. We can act in our own hamlet. So that is what happened, that different hamlets, people were blocking the streets because there are ghettos in different parts of Guadeloupe. And these are the people who Well, I'm not saying that everybody that was blocking is from the ghetto.
Yeah, because I
But
saw
what I'm saying,
quite a bit happening in Pointe-à-Pitre and Jarry and those places there.
yeah, and the police went for them because they knew them. Some of them were known by the police, and they were arrested.
Yeah,
Some of them were arrested on the spot.
I saw people taking down cameras.
Exactly.
And I understand some of the buildings which were burnt to cover evidence of theft.
Well, yeah, because you don't want your fingerprints and whatever, so you just burn. They just burn after, some by malice, some probably by mistake because of some electrical fault. And the other thing was so sad too, that some of the business spaces said that they called the police, they called the gendarmes, and gendarmes said, we are helpless. There's nothing we can do. We are outnumbered. And the fire, imagine the fire service had to choose which fire they were going to put out. They only went to fires that where lives were endangered.
Okay, all right.
Because there were blockages, there were roadblocks, so it's a vicious cycle, as I say.
Okay, so tell us about the 5,000 gendarmes that were deployed to Guadeloupe.
No, well, they said it was 200. Some say it's 2,000, but I think it's just about 250. There are snipers. You see snipers on buildings, and there are riot police. There are Navy SEALs. But the other thing is that they tell them to respect people, only shoot if people are looting.
Okay.
But again, people, we have to understand that the Guadeloupeans, they learn from France. The people that the union is strong in France, and they learn to block the streets like the people from France. French people are always protesting every day. I lived in Paris, and almost every Saturday, every weekend, there is a protest in somewhere in France, and in Paris especially, protesting for different reasons.
We're not saying that is wrong. You have to protest for what you want. If you figure you have been treated unfairly, you have to do that.
What now?
The problem is the extent of the protest,
they can block the
roads,
and
the destruction of privacy and stuff and the destruction
of
property.
Destruction of property is not in it, but you can block the roads.
All right. And we have somebody from Guadeloupe on the line with us as well. Good afternoon to you, Clayton. How are you?
Good afternoon to you, Vanessa, and Sammy, I believe.
Yes.
As you told me the name.
Yes. Just want to get your view as well on the situation happening in Guadeloupe. Because we've been talking with Ezra, and he's been giving us some information. Just want to hear from you as well.
Okay, thank you very much. The situation is not as all of us would have liked it to be because of what has been happening over the past few days. Well, it started last Monday with the blocking of roads. It started last Monday with the blocking of roads. Roads were blocked on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it kind of intensified on Thursday night, where it went out of hand, where some buildings got burnt in the city of Pointe-à-Pitre, and it caused the prefect to put a curfew in place from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. from Friday. Started Friday night, and it will be going on till Tuesday morning. Well, let's hope that it does not continue after Tuesday because of the situation where persons were taking advantage of the situation and going on vandalizing private property and looting, as is usually the case in every country where you tend to be fighting for something, and then some people take advantage of the situation too because they have other things in mind. But when I said it intensified last Monday, well, the unions have been demonstrating since July. Every Saturday since July, the unions have been demonstrating in different cities in Guadeloupe against the mandatory vaccination and the health pass that the government has put in place for civil servants and mostly frontline workers. They have been demonstrating against that, as they have been saying that they are not against vaccination, but they do not want it to be imposed on them. And so far as some of them were receiving dismissal letters if they were not being vaccinated. And the unions thought that this was not fair. So decided that if the authorities would not listen to them, because as far as the union leaders were saying that no one in authority had ever proposed to meet with them to have a discussion with them. So last week they decided that they're going to change the strategy and began by blocking roads, as has been the case most of the times when strike action is happening in Guadeloupe or any French department, when the authorities don't talk to those who are demonstrating, that they find other ways and means of causing the authorities to talk with them.
Okay, all right. Ezra, you're still here with us?
Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. So, and I guess you can hear Clayton as well.
Yes,
right.
I am.
Great stuff. What part of Guadeloupe are you in currently, Ezra?
Pointe-à-Pitre.
You're in Pointe-à-Pitre. And how about you, Clayton? And Clayton, you are in the same...
I am about 10 kilometers from Pointe-à-Pitre.
Okay, all right. But is that all centralized just in Pointe-à-Pitre? Is it happening around
No. It's around Guadeloupe. It's an island-wide.
It's an island-wide thing. Okay, so
yeah.
the as well as the looting and the fires.
Yeah. The looting was in Bastet, Blamatin, Bemao, Pointe-à-Pitre, Gosier, and Zabim.
Okay. All right. We have a caller on the line. Let's go to the telephone. Hot topics, your life. Talk to us.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon, Mr. Blah.
And how are you?
Well, thank you. We're doing good.
Well, I'm listening to what's happening in Guadeloupe.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening in Guadeloupe is nothing new. The Americans went through that same process in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
At one stage, Guadeloupe was wanted independence from France, if you all may recall. And what they all did when they realized they were going to lose both Martinique and Guadeloupe, they said the people in Guadeloupe and Martinique should have the same privileges that the people in France wanted to have. And from that time, the people in Guadeloupe and Martinique never pressed for independence anymore. And what one need to realize, whenever the black people live under the capitalist system, from time to time you'll be going through this stress. It's nothing new.
Okay.
We need to know history, and we are confused because we don't know history. And what hurts me, at my age, at one stage, we ruled the world. We, the black people, rule the world, east, north, west, and south, and look at where we are today.
Yes.
But I do hope the problem will solve in Guadeloupe, because eventually what's going to happen, a lot of fellows are going to get beaten by the police. A lot of them will end up in jail. And economically, that won't solve the problem.
Right.
Nothing has solved in America. America is still going through the same problem. Take care, ladies.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Blanc. Thank you for your contribution.
I listen to you all.
Okay.
And
Thank you,
I would say what has happened, they should have gone for the independence in the beginning, but Guadeloupe and Martinique economically was very important to France. And that's why they go offer them the same opportunity like the French one.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Well, I think that's it for us for calls right now. It's already 6 minutes moving up. Gentlemen.
So I just want to ask the guys as we wrap it up, how do you all see the situation solving? How do you see France going back on its word, on its law, that everybody should be in the system should be mandatory vaccinated? How do you see this ending? Do you see
I don't think because Martinique has now joined, so I think France will go back on the law, and France is gonna have to do something because the people are determined. They've decided, okay, you know what, the looting has stopped, but we are continuing the strike. There's a general strike in Martinique and Guadeloupe, and then presidential elections are coming up next year. So it's and there are about between Guadeloupe and Martinique, almost 1 million votes. So they have to tread a careful line, and I think the president is going to put some amendment to the law, because the people have decided we're not going to be taking any mandatory vaccine. That's in my opinion.
Okay. How about you, Clayton?
As we speak presently, there's a meeting. One second. As we speak, there's a meeting going on between the Prime Minister and the European parliamentarians in the Assemblée Générale, and some other dignitaries who are meeting at this time. So let's hope that something good will come out of it, and some concessions will be made to remedy the situation.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope things return to some form of normalcy soon, so we can see a cessation to that destruction, and
And life can roll.
Yes, indeed. So I want to wish you all the best. Be safe. Gentlemen, both of you.
Thank you guys for joining us and passing on the info. It was a pleasure.
All the best.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, pleasure.
All right, great stuff. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Yeah. Okay, well, folks, time has come and gone. We want to thank you for joining us on today's show. And we'll be back with you tomorrow for more hot topics.
Yep, see you tomorrow.
Some of you didn't want to go, man. It didn't look like Sammy wanted to leave all you know.
I already commented I want to go by Carla.
Anyways, folks.
Guys, see you all tomorrow. It's going to be hot again. As
Indeed.
usual.
Fire.
With my coach watch. Give me room.
I was going to ask if it's Ballard that sent that for you, but then after you say it's your father. Anyways, I go in.
This Christmas, unlock a new digital world with 45% off a new DL3 Plus Pro smartphone from Digicel. Get it now when you buy a 30-day 25GB Prime Jumbo bundle to enjoy all your favorite Digicel apps. The best smartphone with the best apps. Enjoy a 6.2-inch screen to watch more Christmas classics in Playgo. Dual 5-megapixel camera to capture more Christmas moments. And then store it all in Billo, from blockbuster movies and chop-chopping music to streaming live sports, video chats, and so much more. Get yourself a DL3 Plus Pro for $200 or gift it to someone you love. Visit a Digicel store today.
More ways to win big this Christmas. The more you watch, listen, and stream your favorite Digicel apps, the more chances you have to win from thousands of prizes. Enter to win the grand prize of easy $15,000, a weekend for two at Cabrit's Resort and Spa Kempinski, or a $1,500 supermarket shopping spree. Simply listen to your favorite Christmas carols in D-Music, watch movies in Playgo, or connect with friends in Beep to win unlimited music, live sports, movies, and more for a year. We're all winners with guaranteed win days. Shake to win in the My Digicel app today. Digicel, better together this Christmas.
Attention! We're a go for rocket launch.
Roger.
Engines ready.
Yay, Daddy!
Lift off in 3, 2, 1.
Kids, breakfast is ready.
Ooh. Launch postponed.
Give yourself a strong start to the day with Dutch Lady. Milk with essential nutrients, calcium, vitamins, and protein. Dutch Lady. Building strong families since 1871.
Attention, all farmers, home gardeners, florists, and plant enthusiasts. We are proud to announce that we have finally opened to the public. Bloombox, Dominica's newest home and garden center, offering agriculture tools and supplies, solar products, and the only company on island that provides the latest products in automated irrigation. Visit our store today at 66 Federation Drive, Centeroma. It's the second property on the right-hand side after the Valley Link Road. Opening hours 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturdays. Call us at 235-3480. Bloombox, bridging the gap between commerce and sustainability. Let's bloom together.
Now to come on over and enjoy more for less. Terms and conditions apply. Dominica, are you ready for more? For a whole lot less. Yeah.